I was resting in the garden when my husband's friend, Kevin, pushed open the side gate, and nothing about my quiet evening stayed the same. I thought I was in for a nap among the roses. Instead, I ended up learning something about love that I didn't know I'd forgotten. If you think a simple visit can't shake a marriage in the best possible way, wait until you hear what really happened. Before I start, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. I'm curious who's out there with me tonight. Chicago, Phoenix, Charlotte, maybe a small town with one traffic light and a church bell that still rings the hour. Go on, name your city. I'll be looking. The evening air still held some warmth from a long day, and the garden was wearing its best end-of-summer colors. My roses, the stubborn ones that kept defying Georgia clay and my inconsistent watering, bowed their faces into a light breeze. I had kicked off my shoes on the brick path and tucked my feet under me on the old wicker chair that creaked when I breathed too deeply. A mosquito spiral smoked lazily beside the bird bath. The house was quiet in that particular way you only get at dusk, when the day finally leaves your shoulders and the night hasn't claimed you yet. I had closed my eyes to listen. The neighborhood carried on like a gentle radio station, somebody's screen door, a dog offering its opinion about a passing squirrel, a baseball game on in a distant living room. So when the latch of our side gate clicked, I didn't jump. I opened one eye and saw Kevin's outline against the pale evening, a taller shadow framed in honeysuckle. "Margaret?" He lifted a hand, almost sheepish. Gate was open. "Okay if I come in?" He always asked like that, Kevin, with his polite caution. He's one of those men who makes space without announcing that he's doing it. Rugged in a soft way, worn denim shirt, clean hands that still looked like they remembered hard work, the slightest silver at his temples that he joked about when the light hit him wrong. My husband and Kevin had been friends long before I married into their circle. Boyish fishing trips that turned into once-a-year promises, projects in the garage that never quite got finished but gave them 6 Sunday afternoons of laughter to remember anyway. "It's okay," I said, sitting up and smoothing the skirt of my summer dress. "You found me in my natural habitat." He smiled and held up a small tool case, the socket set my husband had lent him. "Returning this before I forget. I was driving by and saw your lights. Figured I might catch him." "He ran to the store," I said. "You know how he gets about charcoal. Swears there's a right kind they keep hiding from him on the top shelf." "That man and his grill," Kevin chuckled, setting the case beside the porch steps. "Mind if I sit a minute? Only if you're up for company." There it was again. Only if. He didn't assume, and I noticed it because so many people do. "Sit," I said, pointing to the bench across from me. "I've got iced tea. Not too sweet. Don't tell anyone." Kevin eased down, carefully, as though my garden had rules he might break if he wasn't gentle. We made small talk at first. He asked about the roses. I told him they were dramatic and ungovernable, which I admired in plants even when I didn't in people. He gave me an update about a fence he was fixing for his neighbor, and I teased him about using a level when everyone else used guessing and prayer. As the sky shifted from honey to pewter, something in the quiet deepened, like a room pulling its chair closer. He glanced at the wind chime, a simple row of seashells I'd strung last year, and then back at me. "Can I say something without sounding odd?" he asked. "You just asked permission," I said, "so you're already ahead." He smiled but didn't rush. "I stopped by to return a tool. But I wanted to see how you were. You've looked tired lately. Not in a bad way, just carrying things." It was a tender, careful observation, the kind that can be mistaken for prying if it isn't wrapped in respect. I looked down at my hands. They did look tired, garden dirt in the lines, a faint scrape from a thorn, the little pale scar by my thumb from a Thanksgiving years ago, when I'd cut the turkey string instead of the knot. "I've been fine," I said, and I heard the hollowness of the word even as I said it. Fine, the pouch where women stuff everything that won't fit anywhere else. "May I try something?" Kevin asked. "It's a listening thing from a group I go to. Sounds silly, but it helped me when I didn't have the words. 2 minutes, timed. One person talks. The other only listens. No fixing, no advice. Then we trade. Only if you want. And we stop if it feels wrong." I blinked. Of all the unexpected things a woman can experience on a summer evening with her husband's friend, a listening exercise wasn't what any headline would sell you. But it was exactly the kind of unexpected I was hungry for without knowing it. Simple, safe, human. "You time it?" I asked, half teasing. "I'm a rule follower," he said, holding up his phone. "Do you want to go first? Or me?" "Me," I said, surprising myself. "But if I ramble, you're sworn to call time." He hit the start button, set the phone face down on the bench, and leaned back, hands folded, eyes steady. Not staring, present. The way you look at a painting not because it's famous, but because something in it is calling your name. What spilled out wasn't dramatic. It wasn't anything a courtroom would consider evidence. I talked about little fatigues that knit themselves into larger ones. The way the washing machine walked across the laundry room like it had somewhere better to be. How the calendar still carried appointments from the spring, ghosts of plans that were canceled and remade until I couldn't tell what had actually happened. The ache behind my right shoulder that arrived after winter and refused to leave. The feeling that I'd become useful to everyone and interesting to no one. I said my husband had been distracted, not unkind, not absent, just elsewhere. The way men get when a worry lodges in them like a pebble, and they believe the virtue is in not limping. I heard the chime of Kevin's timer like a soft bell calling me back. He didn't rush to fill the space I had emptied. He let the words settle, gave them a proper place to sit. "Thank you," he said. "Want to hear my 2 minutes? Or pass?" "Go ahead," I said.